Good morning, thanks for checking out the video again. This is the third day of the video blog, or the vlog, as the kids say. I've committed to doing these blogs to talk about anxiety, to talk about panic, and to talk about what we can do about them. My name is Kevin Ashworth. I'm a licensed professional counselor in Portland, Oregon. I'm a co-director of Northwest Anxiety Institute. We specialize in cognitive behavioral therapy and exposure response prevention, or ERP, for OCD and all the other anxiety disorders. So I wanted to create a video blog to put out there a few minutes each day to provide some information or some education or some, I don't want to say tidbits because I don't like tips on how to get over it. It's information that you can incorporate into your life. There's never 5 easy things to do. 5 easy ways to control your sleep, 5 easy ways to manage your panic, 5 easy ways to get over OCD. Those don't exist. They're very nice headlines for articles, though. So yesterday I talked about panic disorder. Today I'm back. I told you I would talk about it again. I'm curious if anyone did anything yesterday to scare them. My mantra is do one thing every day to scare you. In fact, it's so much my mantra, I have it tattooed on my body, just to remind me that every day is a challenge, and the way that I progress is to do something differently, to behave differently. And again, that doesn't matter what that is. So we ended yesterday talking about panic disorder and talking about the physiology connected to it, the fear of physiology. And so we understand panic from a very evolutionary biological mechanism. Our body is turning on the sympathetic nervous system to put us in the fight or flight. So our body is anticipating or has a perceived threat. We don't know what that threat is yet, but we start figuring it out in our brain when we feel the anxiety. So panic symptoms are awful, but I want you to think about if you were standing in the mall or in your house and something terrible happened. There was a fire or an explosion and you had to run away. What I tell clients is, if we ran out of our office, up the stairs, down the street, I would stop them and I would say, what's going on in your body? And they would say, they're having a hard time breathing, they're a little dizzy, their throat is dry, their heart is pounding, their chest is tight. And I would say, are you having a panic attack? And people would say, no, I just ran from a threat. I ran from an actual threat. Think about actual danger. We don't call that panic. People don't get in a car accident and say, I had a panic attack yesterday because I was hit by another car. People say, I got in a car accident. People say, I ran from the guy, I protected myself when there was an explosion. They'll say, you're not going to believe I had a panic attack when I was mugged yesterday. We just don't even understand it that way. We understand it as panic when there's no actual danger. So we start looking for danger. When my body tells me, by increasing my heart rate and making me breathe faster and making my fingers tingle and my stomach hurt, my brain starts looking for danger. And so that's why we make associations. We start looking around and going, what is it about this situation? Am I too stressed out today? Did I have an argument with my partner or my mother or my boss? Am I overwhelmed? And we start connecting things to this physiology. And then, because common sense typically should apply, we start trying to remove those things from our life. So if you believe that panic was connected to your cup of coffee, you'll stop drinking coffee. If you believe it was connected to the stress at work, you'll try and manage the stress. Some of those things aren't necessarily terrible in itself, but if you believe it's connected to things that you enjoy, like hanging out with friends, staying up late, whatever it is, you start removing those things. And so the treatment is to get you back to do that. People become more and more intolerant of the physiological symptoms of panic. And so you become very in tune to any changes in your heart rate or any changes in your stomach or any changes in anything. And then people kind of tippy-toe around life, hoping not to bump into the next panic attack. And then when they do, obviously they feel out of control. So what we encourage people to do is to practice the things that you're uncomfortable with physiologically. And so sometimes that's head spins to create the sensation of dizziness. Sometimes it's jumping jacks or push-ups or stair runs to get your heart rate going. And the reality is, if you can trigger that panic, if you can trigger those intense physiological symptoms, you can turn them on, you can turn them off, you can turn them on, you can turn them off. That way, you're increasing your tolerance to knowing that you can manage that symptom. So if you do intense physiological exercise or exercises to create the symptoms of panic throughout the week, When a panic attack comes spontaneously, you're kind of like, oh, I've already done that 10 times on purpose this week. I'm way less worried about it now. I feel it, and then the paradox is you actually feel more in control. So increasing physiological changes on purpose is important. And then reducing your avoidance is important. So make a list of the things that you've avoided because of fear of panic, and then start trying to hit those. Start trying to go to those places incrementally, one at a time, can be very, very helpful. Getting over panic is like figuring anything else out. It's a commitment. You have to go and look for your panic. What I mean is, if you're working on your panic and you're just kind of going about life, and when you bump into your panic, you're trying to manage it, it's probably not going to be successful. You have to commit to finding time every day to get better. You have to commit to finding time every day to do something differently. Those things do not just come spontaneously. As much as I would like to believe that I can get in better shape by hoping someone will chase me one day so I'll run a little bit, I have to commit to going to the gym, or I have to commit to exercising. Both are something I'm not very good at, I will admit. So we all have something to work on. But ask yourself, are you putting time to doing something challenging every day? Because there's plenty of time that is spent worrying. So let's take that time and do something a little bit more productive with it. So sometimes what that means is, when you're scared to go to the mall, you drive to the mall, not because you have to go to the mall. I don't care if you go in the mall, or you just step outside. You certainly don't have to buy anything. If you're scared to drink a cup of coffee, but you don't want a cup of coffee, I would make a point to have a cup of coffee. Don't wait till you're invited out with friends to have a cup of coffee. If you're scared to drive, and you do it every time you have to go to the doctor's appointment, or you have to go somewhere, then you need to spend time driving on purpose to be anxious. If you're confused about what I'm asking, send me an email, kevin@northwestanxiety.com. Log in, write a question on YouTube, but please subscribe to this. Please share this on Facebook or however other social media means that you would do that. I'm going to do this every single day. I might shift away from panic a little bit now until I get some more questions. But thank you so much. Fight fear, find freedom, do something today that scares you, and I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks.